Hi, I'm Bryan Forrester. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Boostlingo.
Hi, I'm Conor. I'm formerly the CEO of Interpreter Intelligence, now excited to be the VP of Engineering at Boostlingo.
Boostlingo was founded back in 2016, and our goal has always been to change the way that language interpreting services are delivered worldwide through technology innovation. Didn't know much about the language industry 5 years ago, but I was approached by a friend of mine, Dieter Runge, who had been working in the language industry for many years, and he brought this idea to me, and we started researching the market and looked at the competitive landscape, and we saw a really great market with an opportunity to innovate in technology. These really large companies had built very impressive businesses in the on-demand interpreting space. Back then, it was still a more green, growing market. Just slowly grew the business over time. Fast forward to 2021, we took a growth equity investment from Mainsail Partners, which really allowed us to accelerate our hiring and investment into different areas of the business.
So our journey was a little bit different. So I'm a software engineer by background. My degree is actually in mathematics. And in 2010, I decided that I wanted to set my own course. So I decided to start a business. Very fortunate to pick up some big name customers back in the day, 2013, 2014. And the business just grown sort of slowly and organically year over year. I became very aware of Boostlingo when they arrived in the space. They were more focused on the video and the audio side of things than the scheduling side of things. I think they raised a little bit of money in a private round. So became a focus. They were on the radar from about 2016. And in many ways, they made me and us take it a lot more seriously in terms of what we were doing and how we wanted to be presented as a brand. And here we are now in 2022, and I'm very excited to be now part of Boostlingo as an organization. Very excited for what we could do together. I do think it's really taking the best of what Interpreter Intelligence has brought to the market over these years with what the best of Boostlingo has done in the market in the same space of time, in a shorter space of time.
Our product focus has really evolved over time as our customer profiles have changed. You know, we're a born in the cloud technology, and we have an open API and SDKs that allow developers to build directly onto Boostlingo. Really, any company with a front end, website can, with a couple lines of code, embed our caller app into their web page and make calls on demand. Of course, with II, we're going to be focused on integration. How do we, like you said, Conor, combine the best of both of these products into one, so that our language service customers and partners really get the benefits of this acquisition, and so that's where we're focused short term.
I think what Brian described there, I can contrast it with our journey in many ways. It was, a software engineer plus one or two helpers who basically had a customer, they had a need. We really didn't have any insight into how big the market was, how big the opportunity was, but we basically just pursued that. We really embedded quite deeply with those customers, those first 10 customers. And I think that's reflected in sort of how deep the functionality in the product has been. And it's been a very defensive mode for us over the years. And as I say, when I saw Boost appear on the scene, and then once they became more well known, I saw them then putting their foot more and more into our space that we excel at. So again, if you think of us as this mature platform for scheduling, for reporting, for interpreter management, I think that segues very well with the Boost platform, what they've done in remote services. And of course, all of the stuff that overlaps with our system right now, we'll be just combining those in various different ways behind the scenes over the next 24 months.
It became apparent that, as we wanted to focus on a lot of the remote interpreting capabilities that our customers were asking for, we couldn't do both. We couldn't go deeper on scheduling and build the types of remote features we wanted to over time. And it's clear that, Conor, from the outside looking in, some of those big customers, I think, probably helped you, I imagine, develop some more of those complex features and the customization and the unique kind of workflows that a lot of these LSPs have. When did you start recognizing remote interpreting as being a really important trend? I'm curious if that was caused by Boostlingo, or was that something that you had already thought about ahead of Boostlingo and were building those features before we rolled up on the scene?
That's a great question. In the back of my mind, I was always interested by video, and obviously video on the internet. It's like radio on the internet. But the reality was, as a small bootstrap company, we were sort of chasing revenue, doing whatever we could to sustain ourselves. So we didn't take any outside investment. So as a result, we didn't have a lot of time or bandwidth to sort of focus on those other opportunities. It just became apparent to me that if we continue down the road of investing on the remote services side, do we cripple our on-site business? So that's when I made the decision to reach out to Brian and Boost and see if there was a potential synergy we could do by bringing II and Boost together. And Brian was totally into the idea, and here we are today.
And I know a lot of our partners and your customers are thinking the same thing. What's going to happen to interpreter intelligence? What's Boostlingo going to do? Because business continuity is so important to our customers. I'm curious how you see that evolving.
So we're looking at it from a two-prong approach. One is the short term, so the next 6 months, and then the second is more of a longer term. Any significant changes we're going to make will be behind the scenes, so there's no anticipation for any type of migration or any type of forced upgrade to a different system. What our customers will see over the long term is a consistent look and feel between the two products, and then behind the scenes, we're going to figure out how the two products actually glue together in more in depth, and that will be seamless from an end user perspective. And then in the short term, again, with no impact to business continuity, immediately we'll be making the Boostlingo professional interpreter network available in Interpreter Intelligence. So any of our customers can then tap in to this pool of crowd of interpreters that are available to pick up calls. And then secondly, we'll be focused on some low-hanging fruit in terms of just getting the UI, the user interface, more consistent between the two products. So there's the two initial goals for the short term. And then I think there's some low-hanging fruit as well that we've sort of left over the previous, we focused on the remote services that we'll probably pick up in the short term as well to help fill some gaps there for the on-site side of the business.
Our goal is to keep people up and running and not disrupt their business as we make changes behind the scenes. But ultimately, I think it's going to benefit II customers and Boostlingo customers alike, because at the end of the day, what we're trying to build is the best unified platform for LSC companies to scale their interpreting business on. And that's really why another reason why this acquisition makes sense is that II had a similar philosophy of helping their customers scale their interpreting business. So there's a lot of alignment there.
So I think there's three main reasons why this is the right thing for us. The first one was, we've grown a reasonably sized remote business for video and audio, but our roadmap has quite a lot left to do in it. So there was probably at least a 6 months to 12-month set of tasks yet to be done. Secondly, with the business that we got live, there's a whole different realm of support required for on-demand services versus SaaS. So SaaS in itself is a 24/7 model, but on-demand services for video and audio, if a call doesn't go through, if a call gets disconnected for whatever reason, you need to have people with deep technical expertise to understand what's happening with those calls. So that was another resource gap that we had. And then thirdly, all of this time and effort was being spent taking away from any work that we were doing for the on-site business. So those three things alone, were more than enough justification for me to initiate these conversations. And then as we saw what the cultural alignment between the two companies is and what their vision is for the future and what we can do together, I think it became a no-brainer really on our part. And I think Brian and the Boost team feel the same after we twisted their arms sufficiently.
Yeah, part of the reason we did the deal, frankly, is not just because II has a best-in-breed platform for in-person scheduling. It's the team. The Conors built a great team, a great culture. That's a big part of the value here in our teams coming together, is that cultural alignment. We put the customer first. We make sure that we are transparent with our customers and transparent with our product strategy and our roadmap and where we're taking the business. And I think Conor, comes to the table with a lot of knowledge that he's gained over the last 10 years or so in building II. That's only going to help us grow and become a more scalable and a feature-rich platform.